What is Moody?
What's up? What's up? What's that, people?
Back again. Pretty nice weatherly October day.
Except it's not, because I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're recording live with sweaters on. Both of us. So
I mean, I've had sweaters, but you know
nice.
me, like I could wear a hoodie anytime for the most part.
And I can be shirtless anytime as long as it's nice enough. And it's pretty brisk out here. So
yeah. Do you have any Percy's written down? I have like one or two, but I have one specifically.
Just one that we talked about already, but obviously on the pod was the fact is I went to go see Infinity Castle.
Mm-hmm.
When we were recording last time. Of course, it was amazing, and it's just like one of those things where I was like, "Damn." I wouldn't say I regret not going like opening weekend, but I was like, maybe by the end of it, I want to do that.
You wanted to watch it with like a full amped up crowd, like everyone kind of watching it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like again, like Infinity War, Endgame type.
Yeah,
of shit.
like whenever Part 3 comes out. But yeah, it was amazing. I know we watched like. I gave you like a recap, which you already. I'm sure you forgot already.
Yeah,
so it's fine.
To just kind of take.
That's why I'm glad that I could say this to you. And it's like I know it's falling on deaf ears. It's like because you'll be like, you told me this before. Until you watch it, and then it'll stick. If you do. But
I was trying to catch up by the third movie.
Yeah. The I don't know. I already told you, but they're trapped in like the big boss man's, his blood art, ability, or what would be like Jutsu in Naruto, his like demon art, the Infinity Castle, and it's just this giant ever evolving vortex of like, feudal Japan, architecture, and it's just like a moving matrix, like or like the movie, what is it, The Cube?
Yeah,
and it's like killing all of them.
It's
not that, but it's moving around, like that, and they're fighting, the upper 6 demons, the highest ranking demons or the highest ranking demons before they get to the big boss man. So this was the first movie in the trilogy. 4.5 is a what?
Like day one watch in theaters.
Like, so it's 5-star.
That is like
Oscar just award winning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just like this is off rip.
Yeah.
Just one of the best movies.
Yeah, it was definitely day one then for sure, especially for me. It's like
like day one, watch it in like the highest quality. Like
worth it for sure.
To, like watch it in theaters.
But yeah, that was just my Percy. It was dope for shit. Anime fans out there, or even non-anime fans, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, if it's still in the theaters.
Lead a height.
Yeah, exactly. I watched it a month late, but it was still amazing.
All right, my Percy.
And last fact, I'm sorry, greatest or biggest opening. I think you brought this to my attention. Biggest anime opening weekend, or right? International, because it made like 55 million in the States and 200 internationally. It's like insane.
It did well in theaters.
Yeah.
That's why it's still in theaters, which is crazy with all the stuff that's been coming out. It's like, man, you still got theaters, like to be in theaters that long is pretty impressive. And they're gonna have another couple runs at it throughout the year, throughout the in between the next movie coming out and whatnot. So, my Percy is about LeBron James and the second decision. You see that advertisement?
I didn't watch the commercial. I've heard plenty about it.
Did you see the teaser?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you think when you saw the teaser?
Advertisement.
You thought it was ad?
Yeah.
Good thing because I asked, because like I'm not a LeBron zealot or like even like that much of a care of like what he does. I'm like, okay, he's 39 or 40 years old. Like, if he retires, he retires. Like,
it makes sense. Yeah, whenever
like it's not that big of a deal. I was just caught up on it. This was like his second time kind of teasing it and then it turning into being an ad. But when I first saw the teaser, I didn't really care too much. I'm like, all right, cool. It might seem like he might retire, but I didn't even put too much thought into it to even care to have an opinion. But to find out that it was just an ad for Hennessy.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious for the people that like bought into like the idea, like and care that he's gonna make his like retirement. I'm like,
or like some type of actual like groundbreaking announcement of some reason of something.
I feel like he'll probably do that like on first take, or maybe I don't know somewhere. I don't know when he'll do, because I think we talked about it yesterday that I think he's gonna do like a farewell season and kind of go on that tour. But I bring this up not even to rail on LeBron. This is more of a general point of just people in the society. We need to be better as a society to not care about sponsorships when it comes to making purchasing decisions. Like, especially like, because he's no different. This was no different than what Snoop did when he's like, I'm quitting smoking. I'm going.
Yeah.
And then it was just like about, I'm quitting smokeless, like, ovens or whatever, like grills,
Yeah.
whatever it was that he was selling. Everybody thought he was quitting weed and whatnot. It's like, this is no different. That's the same concept with that, what they just did.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, we have to, like, it's all for, like, a sponsorship and a celebrity endorsement of some type of whatever brand it is. It's like, we need to stop caring about what celebrities are using what.
Yeah, exactly. What their products are.
As a decision, a deciding factor of whether I want to buy this thing or not.
No,
it's like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
At this point, like, that we like find it as a thing to actually make purchasing decisions around. It's like, oh yeah, like,
LeBron drinks Tennessee. Yeah.
Like, Nas drinks Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like, Jay-Z told me stop drinking Cristal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever it is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just like, it's so crazy that, like, that's a root of, like, and I work in advertising, and it's just like still a concept of just like, this is so dumb.
My next thought was, well, because like I said, I never saw even the full like ad.
Yeah.
I just saw, like you said, the teaser of like, it was like a freeze frame of the picture about like the decision of all decisions or something. So immediately I was just like, okay, ad. And then once I heard about like all that it was, and that it was an ad for Hennessy, my next knee jerk was like, LeBron's such a nigga. Like, yo, for real, like, that's what made it funnier to me, because like I never believed that it was a retirement. Like you said, because it's obvious. It's like he wants to be liked, he wants to be appreciated. We know that about him. So it's like that. It's silly to think that's gonna come like right before the season starts with, as everybody said, like a nobody. Like some people thought it was AI, like, or like the guy was AI. I was like, what? Okay.
Right. Yeah, that was my whole feel.
That did take over the news a little bit.
And like, the Laker tickets and all that going like super expensive, and now there's a fan that's actually suing LeBron because of the value of his tickets not being as high as they were supposed to be, because everybody bought it. He bought the tickets because everybody were like, oh yeah, like LeBron's gonna retire, and like the prices were super inflated. So now it's like, now they're back down to like regular prices for whatever Laker tickets were.
Laker tickets,
so that's it. Let's get into the show.
Doors opening. Step back to allow customers to exit.
The crowd is up today. Here.
Pro, Moody, Pro. That's the 3 Up podcast.
Avenue.
Follow us here on this YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all the social media. Send us an email at
Episode 66 of the Wrestling Rehab podcast. And we're doing something a little different because there was a pop-up show this morning because they're in Australia, and that's like a 14-hour time difference, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So that show started at 8 o'clock. We woke up at like 10:30. So we were able to catch the last match and then watch the replay of the show earlier. But we put our predictions in before the event. Spoiler alert, ended up in a tie. But we'll get into the recap of what happened at Crown Jewel and obviously the week in wrestling. But who we got for 66?
Actually, once again, you caught me slipping.
Okay, well,
how about this? One of the biggest nerd references of all time, Order 66.
Sure,
the betrayal of the Jedi.
That worked.
There you go. That's big enough to reference. That's the only Star Wars reference I've made on the whole pod up to this point.
Again, that's what we're going to have to, like, when we get into the hundreds, we're going to have to figure out some other, it's got to just be pop culture references outside of sports. So that's the first one.
Yeah, there you go.
Order 66. That's a weird one, but sure.
Yeah. That's knee-jerk reaction.
Let's get into the week. I think we didn't have any pop-up shows to recap, right?
Nah. Just at the end of the week.
So, okay. We'll get into the recap of Monday Night Raw, the flagship store. Pretty good episode of Raw. We had... Yeah, I would actually, basically the two same things. But I think the main thing I want to start with is Maxine getting the win.
That was my main thing. That's why I bumped it up.
Over Becky.
Yep.
By a count out, but Maxine probably had her best match in her career. Becky obviously just being someone to be great enough to provide those type of matches. Like she's again someone you could just get in the ring and she can kind of guide you through the ring and match and have a great match. But Maxine at legitimate points looked like she might have been able to pull the upset off.
No, absolutely.
I feel like she might be able to beat Becky in this rivalry. Maybe somebody comes back and helps her like get the win because she even put her feet on the ropes to get the win.
That ring awareness is coming,
and it's just like, yo, that's a heel thing, but we know that you're at the disadvantage, so it kind of works as you trying to just like do whatever.
Yeah.
So I obviously she's still a face, but it's like more of just like you only usually see when a person puts their foot on the ropes like that as a heel tactic. So for her to do it, but it makes sense because she's the ultimate underdog in this situation. But
it's funny.
I believe that she could actually win it.
Yeah, it's funny to hear you geek because I beat you to the I guess rankings or Notion doc, and initially I had it at mid, and you dittoed me. And then I thought about it longer, and I bumped it up to primo, and I was like, "Nah, this was like as far as like once again when I think about just our standard primo, it's like what's just either the most important thing or the best thing that happened. The best thing that happened on this episode was Maxine beating Becky Lynch. Yeah, even if it's by count out, it don't fucking matter. We seen her in the struggle, we seen her grind, and like be coached. She's had multiple coaches. Like that's been storylines like of even just adapting to Natalia. Yeah. And still channeling, some Chad in there. She's had like 2 of her best ankle locks like of her career in this match, like channeling some like Chad Gable like cared about improving
being in the ring. Yeah. And, even though she's still considered like a novice, she still like made vast improvements in a short time. And you could see her actually taking it seriously. And like I said, even before she actually started like working in the ring like that, I enjoyed Maxine because again, as attractive as she is, she doesn't mind like making fun of herself and just having a good time and like being a part of the show. Because some people could just be like, especially back in the day, they could just be like, I'm here from a model. I don't want to embarrass myself and things of that nature. But like Maxine is all about actually being a part of the show. It actually seems like she actually likes being in the business and like finds it like fulfilling. So that's where it's like you can see her actually putting in the effort and it's genuine and it's coming off on the page and like how she was able to be in this match. And again, Becky is obviously a great dance person to have with this situation, but it takes 2 to tango. And Maxine held up her end of the bargain in that match. But again, I could think she might be able to pull off and let her and beat Becky for the world for the women's United States Championship, Intercontinental title. And that's another kind of storyline that we usually say for NXT, where it's like, all right, good luck. And at that point, if she's holding the Intercontinental Championship, like I can see that underdog kind of title reign where she's like, all right, good luck. You got some competitors coming after you. You look like a sheep's in like wolf's clothing, I guess it could be if that's the proper term. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, good luck in that situation. But I believe that she might be able to pull it off by like Survivor Series.
Yeah. No, that would be absolutely amazing. And that's like immediately what kind of like, put the battery in my back of like, yeah, that's my next progression of like booking. It's like, well, of course I want to see Maxine.
It. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Of course I want to see her beat Becky Lynch for the title. Like if I could see, I mean, especially with her, like she's getting like, in kayfabe, she's getting like amateur wrestling, Greco-Roman like type.
You can see the Chad Gable-ness.
Exactly, like that type of. So it's like if she like makes Becky tap, can you imagine if she taps her with the ankle lock? Like,
especially if she does like the cinch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the leg
she already does the arm straps down and she hit like Becky with multiple Germans in this too. It was.
Shout out to Maxine. I'm already interested by the storyline because Becky is not going to take this rationally.
Oh yeah, she's going to be exploding at Adam Pearce about this, because I guess
the referee had a fast count too. She counted fast.
Oh yeah, she did.
She counted fast.
No, that's like
apparently they were like, oh, because in the match she was messing with Jessica Carr and she got her in her face, and so Jess was like basically annoyed at that point. But I'm like, still, that's not being an impartial ref. Like you still can't count fast.
And this is why I say refs should be characters. I know that's one of my deep cut things, but it's like because shit like that. If you're telling that story, then that means like the refs they're not allowed to have feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to be neutral, like you said. But if we're gonna swing a win for a champion or a loss for a champion, even though it's not, a title loss, it's still an L on her record. You're gonna do that because you got mad at me? Like, nah, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way. Yeah, or you have to be suspended as a ref.
Yeah.
Like that's the correct answer. Like, Adam Pearce has to suspend, Jessica. It's like, that's ridiculous.
Backbone.
To suspend a ref?
No.
The backbone?
That dude is way too stressed. You know how many times he just burst out?
But I think also the thing
he's like the anger, like you've seen Inside Out.
Yeah.
He's like the anger guy and Inside Out the entire show. Just always like he's the one in control of Adam Pearce. Yeah. Is the anger emotion in Adam Pearce. That dude is always just like stressed out by running the show. I have no faith in Adam Pearce running a cohesive show.
Yeah. I mean, maybe stressing him out.
Third,
That's definitely his character.
Third in the power rankings of GM.
Because he's like low-key, like, alcoholic. He said multiple times, like, I need a drink. Like, he has said that multiple times. Like, we've heard him say that. Like,
He said on Twitter, it's water. He said on Twitter, it's water.
Yeah.
But other preview we had was the Bloodline Part 3.
Yeah.
Jay's selfish focus.
I'm sitting here reading the Bleacher Report because I had to remind myself. Obviously, it's so much earlier in the week. But I called the reason I had this as primo immediately was because this was one of the first times we've seen what we would loosely say, or not loosely, I mean, that is the bloodline. Roman and the Usos like carry the show. They were the backbone of the show, even with like because this intersects with the CM Punk promo because Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso are out there during that point, and that sets up the main event for the night, which is after Roman is, like you said, hyping up Jay, talking about how he needs to look out for himself. You know what I'm saying? And the good thing also, I remember Ringer Wrestling saying like, hey, as much as like Kevin Owens' gimmick was like that he actually watches the show, like Roman says, it's like, yo, I see everything. Like I understand he's supposed to be omnipotent because he's the tribal chief. So he would hear everything that they're doing.
Back to me.
Yeah. Exactly. That makes sense for character-wise, but like it's like, no, you just watched last week.
You watched the show, dude. What the fuck?
Like so obvious. Like, there's a camera in your face, right, Jimmy? Like, come on. Like,
this is not a private conversation. We see what's happening.
Facts. And so that's what I just thought was dope. Like the background work of this show was not the background, the backstage work of the show was great. Also, that was better than like the in-ring stuff.
No, yeah, for sure. And,
so
again, it gets like when it comes with Roman and the title, is like, can Roman win the title being a face, or does he have to be this manipulating figure?
See, one of my
and where does Jimmy fall into this? Does he finally get his push to be like, nah, I want the title?
Jimmy ain't getting it. But
Jimmy put everybody else up, but what about him?
No, the thing is,
I'm your older brother, Michael, and I got passed over.
No, that's the thing. No, he's a protective older brother because what I had as it was like my one and only segment I did like this. You remember that it was before Mania or before Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
And I was like, Roman is gonna come after Jay, or he's gonna get the spot, and he's gonna take the world, heavyweight championship. What if we're coming back around to that? And it's
I think that's what's happening. But I think Jimmy is going to insert himself in there and be like, nah, I want the spot.
I think it's Jimmy foresight. Nah,
I got kids to feed.
I'm 6 minutes older, but I really know Roman. Like in that extra 6 minutes, like I can see through the bullshit. Like he's being protective of older brother, and Jay is just taking Roman at his word because he is the tribal chief. I think that's in the background, but also like what's really in front of his face is the longest reigning champion, and that's just his cousin. Like he loves him, so it's like he really is taking Roman's advice.
Why would he pass over Jimmy for being his right hand?
Jimmy wants
instead of for his younger brother,
because once again, Roman has never changed character up until I did make it a primo when I forget when he was like acknowledge me, but he was like they made me the tribal chief. That was when he turned face. But granted, that was earlier this year. That could also be a manipulation. Roman has a diamond manipulation with Seth. Yeah. Both of them, they're top manipulators. So I could see it even. I mean, we're loosely booking right now. That could have just been a long play, but right now, as I see it, what's dope? Like he's hyping Jay up, like, yo, get your title back. He'll probably even help him. and then do like, I mean, it won't be like an evolution, like thumbs down type thing, because Jimmy's not going to turn on Jay, or I wouldn't have that.
I mean, but like Jay might turn on Jimmy because again, he's stopping. He was trying to super kick LA Knight or CM Punk, I believe, whoever it was, and then Jimmy stopped him, which ended up causing a whole fiasco and whatnot. But
I could definitely, I mean, they could heat it back up to try and run back Mania, like those two versus each other. That would be dope.
I think they all trying to fight for the title.
Maybe it's brother versus brother for the title.
Roman could probably use that as a way to kind of get Jay out of the picture so he can have a clear shot. But I think it's going to come and bend back to like, nah, we all gunning for the same thing.
Yeah. I was going to say, Roman betrays Jay, like I'm thinking, beats Jay for the title, and then Jimmy has to be the big brother. And like, I don't know if Jimmy can beat Roman, but you'll have to build him up like that. We'll care about that story though. Just the fact that like it's like, damn, Roman really is still a bastard. Like he can spear the shit out of his cousin. And we all love Jay. He's Yeet Man, even though he's having a temper tantrum right now. But yeah, that's why obviously it's a primo, because we spent that much time on it. Even just loosely booking it. We care.
And I did have like the actual segment between like the Usos and the Punk and LA Knight. I had that at mid, but I did like the confrontation of just like how, again, you have three people that are all kind of gunning for the title, all kind of making points. And I was like, LA Knight kind of makes the best point.
Yeah.
Out of all three of them, for what he was saying, as far as just like,
remind me,
you guys, those two already had their chances, and they they already lost it. So it's like, I'm still the last one to pin Seth Rollins. And so
true facts. Yeah, the manipulation of the century right there that he did.
So
manipulation.
I had that at mid rising because it was interesting. I like where that's going. Other mid that we had was Kyrie over Io, and then the Kabuki Warriors beat down Io afterwards. And I have to say, I feel like Jessica Carr was also the referee in this match.
Yeah.
And the way that pin happened was, if you remember, Kyrie kind of did the kind of backwards kind of pin leg over. I don't know the word. She kind of pinned her, and then she kind of like rolled on top of her. Her
victory
arms were out, and Asuka was holding her arms to give her leverage. But Jessica Carr was like right there, and, seeing it, and I'm like, that's two. That's two.
Hey.
That's two on the night. I don't mind it, but as far as like the heel's winning, sure, in a heel way, but I'm like, you have to see this, right?
No, but you pointing that out though is like, because already in character, once again, in kayfabe, she should already be suspended. But like that means like she was already ticked off earlier, because that match comes later with Maxine and Becky, and it's like Jessica Carr must be Reggie of the week, like as doing her job, like. She is just too emotional to be a ref. Like, there's no way.
You're just allowing the heels just to do this shit.
There's no way.
But no, that was still a fun match. And then seeing the precarious position that Kyrie had, and to be in, having to take out Io and whatnot.
Yeah, Asuka, her coach, being tough on her still, like fucking.
She's crying. She's like, do it, and then she still hits like the most fucking perfect elbow.
Yeah, yep, love it.
On her, on Kyrie, on Io to afterwards and whatnot. But, other thing that I had as shake was Bailey gets Lyra to jump Raquel.
Okay.
So they have a match. It was like, I think it was Lyra versus Raquel, Roxanne.
Okay.
I forget how it ended, but I think they ended up losing. And then Bailey was like, nah, we can't let this go, this, that, and the third, and basically was like grabbing Lyra to go search for Raquel and Roxanne. And then eventually, I think it was like during an AJ promo, you hear something in the background, camera runs over there, and like literally both Bailey and Lyra are like stomping out Raquel in the backstage area. I'm like, yo, like, I'm surprised like Lyra is like engaged in this.
She with the shits.
She's like, a willing participant in this jumping of Raquel. I'm like, this almost makes them Judgment Day sympathetic in a way where it's like, why am I sympathetic for Judgment Day? But I'm just surprised. I can see Bailey in her state right now doing this, but like the fact that Lyra was a willing participant, and didn't seem like
okay, I got a case
against it. I was like, okay, I guess Lyra is buying into something.
We have seen over the last few weeks, like Lyra initially we've seen this change in Bayley after Lyra was initially trying to like bond with her and thank her. So maybe it's like maybe Lyra thinks
Bayley's also on a losing streak as well.
Like, yeah, true. But maybe she's thinking right about now, like she can't see, like she knows, like she's like tweaking, I guess, but she still thinks it's like authentic, like she's doing her new friend a favor. Maybe not. A new friend that's loose.
Yeah.
New ally or something like that, a favor. But I mean, now she's receptive. That's the only thing I
have it as shame because again, I would put this at mid, but I'm like, I don't know where it's gonna go, and I'm like, it's early, so I'm like, maybe I'm reading too much into it. It doesn't seem like a thing. Like I maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I thought that was interesting, so that's why I'm not sure if it's a thing. That's why I don't have it at mid, but I have it at shake because if it's a thing, then I'm like, all right, maybe this is a little bit of a new twist on the Lyra character where I'm like, all right, this goody two shoes.
Yeah.
I did nothing wrong when you clearly did is now gonna get flipped into like, okay, maybe there's a little bit more edge to Lyra.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to necessarily be a heel, but like maybe there's a little bit of like I guess an edge.
Yeah.
That's added to her character. Anything else from Raw?
No, that's all I have.
All right, we can head over to the bodega and pretty much talk about the bodega and the coffee shop at the same time because they happened on the same night.
Yep, it was Title Tuesday for
because I guess baseball was gonna preempt.
So I wasn't expecting that. It was just once again, once I'm at work and I'm getting like the clip updates on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, AEW's on right now. Like so. And then I see in the highlights it says Title Tuesday. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
I was flipping back and forth watching them live, so I think I enjoyed NXT a little bit more.
Yeah,
but so NXT Title Tuesday was pretty entertaining too. So they were both great shows. What do you want to start off with?
My favorite thing that actually happened on this was I agreed with you. You beat me to this one, which was Ethan Page retaining his North American Championship against Mustafa Ali.
Yeah,
that was the best actual like in-ring match.
Yeah. I thought Ali was gonna pull it off. He almost had it, but then his feet got caught up in Booker T's.
Oh yeah, in the mic wire, yeah. And he was on the top rope. It looked like he was about to do some type of...
and then Ethan Page like pushed him off, and then he like fell all the way out into the
barricade,
to the barricade. Ethan Page finished it off with a finisher and
twisted grin.
Yeah, and then got the 1, 2, 3. But I don't think it's over. I definitely do think I could see Mustafa Ali dethroning Ego. Yeah. But the fact that I remembered halfway through the match, I was like, oh yeah, Ego is like in a feud right now with Elio Dr. Wagner Jr.
Yeah. He made an appearance also.
Yeah, and so backstage. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're definitely not gonna let him lose his title right now, but I can see him, I can see Mustafa Ali winning the NXT North American Championship.
I mean, he was I mean, shit, when he was with WWE, he was over. Yeah. So it's not like there was always like a fan base for him. I think there was a matter of like, how long was he on the main roster? Do you remember? I felt like a year and a half.
Yeah, at least 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay. But like, it's one of those things when it's like, if they, I don't want to just say if they don't have creative for you, but like, that does tend to be like the phrase you hear a lot of the time because the biggest thing that he did on SmackDown was when we saw him coming out with that like light up mask and glow up gear and stuff. And it was like, all right, he was a great, like, this was after they got rid of the Cruiserweight title already at this point.
Yeah.
But that was immediately what was in my head. Like the same way I would see like a Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Where I would want to see a match of those two. It's like, oh yeah, but there is definitely a charisma to him. Like you could see that. And I think we now know, like with what is it, 2020 or 2020 hindsight, that Kofi Mania started off the back of a Mustafa Ali injury. Because that's supposed to be Mustafa's run through the gauntlet match that happened on that SmackDown. And then it results in Kofi Mania, and he finally wins the title. So there was always a place for him here. I think it just maybe, one of those unfortunate business type of situations.
I mean, I think you could see it, like that's why I was kind of surprised that he was even involved within this showdown. You want to say because again, like I figured he had a pretty much like, nah, I know how WWE works, and like the fact that the character that he's running now at TNA was something that he had pitched
Yeah.
in WWE, but they were not, them being super conservative. They were like, we don't want to know if we want to put this type of character out there, especially when Vince was running it at the time. It's like, look, he's successful now more than you ever was in WWE. So I think the fact that he could probably win even, I think, the NXT championship over Ricky Saints.
Yeah.
And, have similar kind of Trick Williams effect where it's like, I have the title on TNA and, but I'm the
NXT champion.
Yeah. I'm the NXT champion and whatnot. That's like.
Yeah. And like you said, I love, the politicking Mr. Ali that he is, even before the match, I just love like just the phrase that he used. He's like, oh, I'm not going to fight you. I'm gonna do what I do best, politics, to get this title shot, and then he does, and it's like, hey, he knows he knows how to play this game just as good as anybody.
Backstage, like interactions with Ava about being present for NXT and whatnot, and setting his matches and whatnot. Like that's a interesting dynamic. I think that'd be fun. So I think Ali ends up winning an NXT title.
That'd be fire. That would be fire.
Whether it be the North American, I can see him winning both, but I could definitely see him. I can see him at this point maybe winning the North American. Not North American, but I can also see him beating Ricky Saints.
Yeah.
So
North American champion right now is
Ego.
Yeah, that's right. We just watched that stupid.
Yeah, but I think I can see him beating Ricky Saints for the NXT championship.
Yeah.
That'd be a good match. That'd be a fun match.
No, for sure.
We also agreed the Hardys getting the first TNA championship or NXT championship over to TNA, beating the Dark State in a winner takes all match.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Hardys. I think again, that's just too much experience. That's like the Hall of Fame level Hardys right there, man.
Yeah.
Like you knew they weren't going to lose that match. Like it's going to be very hard to win that match if you're Dark State. Yeah,
as over as they're going to be with the crowd, as one-sided as that, crowd was going to be for this match.
Yeah.
There is no chance that Dark State was going to get put over by the Hardys. It's like, we still can't even remember all of their names. You know what I'm saying? So this is like, if we were picking locks, as they say, this would be this is the most lock that was going to happen for sure. I put in here because it's I know when we had the conversations of wrestlers in their history, it's oh, how do you think of them? Or calling people WWE guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I say they're just wrestlers, but that's why I jokingly put in there, does it really count?
Yeah.
Because it's almost they are obviously the trinity of holy tag teams in WWE. So it's there's no way you can ever see the Hardys without that. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're in the TNA Hall of Fame too. So that's why I was just yeah, they're TNA guys, but this is the softest step that the WWE could have taken, at least as far as any of their, championships being taken.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's why it's it'd be different if it was the Rascals that won. You know what I'm saying? But even then, they've been over on NXT. They made NXT appearances already, the Rascals. So
that was fun.
Yeah.
Again, great match, always by the Hardys. Always nice to see just the classics. And Jeff hit a swanton. Men's TNA over the NXT elimination match.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, the men's was definitely good.
Called it that there was going to be some conflict between Ricky Saints and Trick.
Yeah.
And Trick ends up just leaving the match. And I'm like, okay, does that count? Or is he going to come back at the end? And they're like, no, that counted. He's out. So TNA ended up kind of dominating. They pretty much ended with at least two members left, maybe three.
Yeah.
I forget if because I know Leon Slater got eliminated. I know it was Mike Santana. Was it Moose?
It was Moose that or excuse me, it was Santana that pinned Ricky Saints.
Yeah.
But in order, Kaz eliminated Miles Bourne. Leon Slater eliminated Javon Evans. Ricky eliminated Kaz. Ricky eliminated Leon Slater, and then Mike. So it was 2-on-1. So it was Mike and Moose left. But yeah, I remember that because he hit him with effectively a fall from grace. You know, a pop up power bomb, spin the block from Mike Santana after, like you said, the trouble with Trick Williams being, still left in the corner and being like, once again, this ain't my problem.
Yeah.
Like, this seems to be like the crux of his character at this point.
You're not trying to face Mike Santana either.
Yeah, exactly. Because Mike also does feel like the most legitimate up to this point from TNA to save the brand.
Yeah,
especially I think he's I want to say Sami Zayn in a sense, like at least underdog from the underground. Yeah, that actually is Sammy's nickname, the underdog from one of his nicknames or something like that. But yeah, Mike Santana has that, except he's from New York. So same thing as Damian Priest, but I think Trick is braggadocious and everything in character, and his character work has been good over in TNA. I've watched most of the segments, like when he's they post on YouTube, because TNA is the exact opposite of AEW, where they post like 18 minutes straight. So, but yeah, like you said, he ain't trying to see Mike, like not for real. So.
Not until they have to officially.
Exactly.
And so he's like, I'll wait till Bound for Glory. We don't need to do this right now. So. Shake, the women's Survivor Series match, NXT women going over with TNA. And I called both of these a week earlier. I was like, these are how these matches are going to end.
Yeah.
And I was specifically correct with the men's, because I said how the fraction.
Yeah.
The women, I was like, yeah, TNA's women is just not as strong character-wise. No offense to the Inspiration and Mara Sade, but to go against the likes of JC Jane, Kalani, Jada, Sol Ruka, and Lola Vice, that's tough.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, but I guess the good storyline aspect of it was how JC Jane kind of stole the win for her team, kind of tagged herself in after, I forget who, I think Sol Ruka.
Soul Snatchers.
Yeah,
after the
and
Soul
then she
Snatcher.
tagged herself in and ended up getting the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it made sense in the point. Like, yes, it makes sense for both characters in my thought, because I think Sol Ruka is like not even just like a bleeding heart baby face, but even more of a character of like, we call her Surfer Charlotte. She's just a vibe chill chick where she's like, it caught her off guard, but she ain't gonna like. I don't see the character Sol Ruka making a fuss about it, like, because she's like, hey, we still won, man. Like, whatever, dude. Like, that's how I kind of. She's like already got 2 titles. It's not like this is a title match or anything, It's like, all right, well, we won.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think it's more of just like being annoyed at her, and it's just like
I think and JC Jane
I think that might be a reason to get like in her face about it and probably take her title away.
Yeah.
No, again, they've been both on SmackDown too, and they had a face off with Charlotte and Alexa. So they're, because I think they're number 1 contender now.
I actually ranked that, yeah.
But that's it for NXT Showdown. NXT ended up getting the better. No, I think they tied. So yeah, because with that match, with the men winning. But let's talk about Title Tuesday. Dynamite.
Yeah, let me scroll over real quick. All right. Yeah, I agreed with a lot of. This was a very mid-show. However, we did have some differences in here. Because, let's start with what we did agree on. Yeah, the Mercedes retaining over Lacey Lane.
Yeah.
And not knowing who's Lacey Lane. And then like, oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. I was like, because I mentioned last week that I was like, oh, okay, well, when you think about wrestling, or she just said somebody from Florida. And I'm like, okay, well, all of, the NXT, Performance Center is there. So it made me think that I was like, all right, it's got to be somebody.
Yeah.
That we think of as like coming from NXT, or like, but yeah, ended up being the former Caden Carter.
Yeah. I didn't realize that I was flipping back and forth, and when I jumped back to NXT to AEW, I think that match had like just started, and I was like, "That Caden Carter?" And I was like, "Oh, sure enough, that was her." I was like, "That's dope."
Yep.
That was a pretty good match too. Obviously, Mercedes wasn't gonna lose this, but again, similar to like the standing matches, like Mercedes can put on a great match with anybody, and make anybody look good.
just going from like NXT to AEW, and I think about the names JC Jane and Lacey Lane. Just like the alliteration there, my thought was like, there's so many like kind of simple porn star sounding names, like where it's just like very cutesy sounding. Yeah. I guess I don't know, but
I think Lacey Lane might be her real name. I feel like, but
I mean, remember there was the girl that hung out in college freshman year, Victoria Fox. She had 2 X's in her last name. Some people just got names like that. No shade, it's just a thought, but fleeting thought.
But yeah, and I saw that she also was on Ring of Honor. I think she's been wrestling on Ring of Honor. So
okay, yeah.
She fought Mina Shirakawa.
Got you.
And so that was like a couple weeks ago, like in like late September. So I think I guess slightly affiliated with AEW in that sense.
We got some
Same thing. I saw Scarlett Bordeaux had a match on Ring of Honor just the other day.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. Okay. And then she's got a tag team partner in Casey Catanzaro. So they could be threats to be women's AEW tag team champions. Yeah. So that just adds another name into the possible bracket that might come out soon.
Yeah, for sure. Because we get in a tournament.
Yeah.
And I might as well segue into my like sort of offshoot news since we was talking about Mercedes when she did a very Mercedes thing also this week and won her 10th title. I had to go back and find where it was, but it was the Body Slam Women's World Championship, which is out of Dublin. So there you go. She won another title in Dublin. So now she's up to 10. And that was our Mercedes stuff. You had Kyle versus Kyle up here. TNT champion retaining against Kyle O'Reilly.
Fun match.
I put this in Shake just because I was like, gotta rewatch. I missed all of this, so I didn't see any action.
Yeah, no, it was a fun match.
I also thought, because I remember watching this before.
Crowd participation,
Yeah, I was like, did they do that? Because I remember I made that a champion of the week spot before when they were like, both these guys, Kyle, and that's all they were saying the whole time. They did it again? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I want to rewatch that. I'll rewatch the episode of Dynamite on Max. So,
you had Okada and Konosuke.
Yeah,
I had pretty much the after interaction.
That's the thing. I like both of them together, but my thought was this was a title eliminator match, and not only that, y'all pinned the champions. So my thought was, I think this is like it feels like it is one story, but in my head it feels like 2 separate ones, where it feels less than the sum of its parts, because I feel like there was clearly like Takeshita was like tight about him stealing the win, or doing just doing the cleanup work. Yeah, the cleanup work, and they should be hype about like they're about to bring the titles to the Don Callis family. I'm thinking right now. But they didn't care about that at all. Where I would have liked to see kind of like that. I would have liked to see like have your cake and eat it too, where it's like you can be like lit about,
I mean, I think it goes back that Takeshita wants to dethrone Okada for the Unified Championship.
Yeah.
Because again, they were in that 3-way, and I forget how it ended, but again,
they went for the Rainmaker on him now.
But again, I think he's tired of Okada little broing him.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's exactly
Okada is like, like you can't hang with me. And he's just so arrogant about it that that's getting under Takeshita's skin that he's gonna eventually just like, I want that title.
Maybe that's exactly what it is, because I said they got this tag team championship, and maybe it's like, Takeshita just can't take it no more. Like in the tag team match, and that's why they lose. And then it's like,
that's why the Brodito aspect is not even is pointless, because it's just like,
well, but that's where I'm like,
we know they're not losing the belts.
But that's it. I don't like you being pinned unless we're building something. Yeah. Like, because this is that's why it's made, because it's like, Brodito, they're second to the storyline of Takeshita and Okada. I agree with you on that. But even the way that you put that in the Shake, it should be a bigger deal that you pick the champions. That's why, because it should be a primo. That's why I left it at. It's like all these champions or former tag teams are like challenging them right now, but these 2 guys who weren't even a legit tag team can beat them. They got their own damn problems. Like,
yeah,
and like low key just like diminishes, the champions a little bit. That's all I
We did agree upon the Hurt Syndicate getting the win over the Demand in a street fight.
mean. Yeah, I
That was
enjoyed
fun.
this a lot.
I thought it was a little long, but still, like the way to end it, I was like, all right, that made up for it.
Yeah. I love like the fact that Shelton was the one to like pull like that overwards, and like even MVP getting physical. Like whenever you always do the spot when like the one team is just so over that you're just finisher selling, bounce into the next finisher. That's just one of those kayfabe things that I love. So we get like knee smash from MVP into a spear from Bobby into a German through the table that was propped up in the corner for the pull-out win on Ricochet. And yeah, it was great, like that whole time. I remember seeing like one of the top comments was like, yo, how is Bobby's like 100% cotton shirts as strong as he is? It's like the top two buttons ripped and then nothing else. Yeah. Like that shit was just on him the whole time. Like you would have thought like for sure this nigga gotta rip this shit off, but nope. Like it came late as hell. But I think this has got to be the end of it. Unless granted in AEW there's always another like gear where you can do like blood and guts or like whatever. I don't want to just say time of year, but like they do exploding death matches and shit. So like, a street fight is like a beat. But for the factor of like this amount of care that we have, maybe not necessarily in Gates of Agony, but this is the most. Them as a faction I care about more because Ricochet is associated with them. But do you think we get another one between these two, or is this done for now? Do you think this is chapter closed for now?
I think so. I think the Hurt Syndicate moved towards the Trios Championship.
Trios. Damn, who's Trios champion?
The Ops.
Oh yeah, the Ops right now. Okay. And we got Joe, going for that should be a primo. I didn't put this on. At least we're on AEW. But you mind that segue? There's a good segue, yeah. Hangman and Joe's promo. That's probably the only primo thing, even though it's just promo. That was great character work. Anytime that Joe's like he just sounds like a killer. He can't turn like when he turns that gravelly voice on. Like Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar is like one of the I won't say biggest disappointments, but I was like I really wanted him to beat Brock. Even though going into it, I was like, there's no way, but there is. Is there like a 10% chance? Like I was really in belief, but nah.
Again, when Brock hits those Germans, it's like that's a wrap. And Joe's size, like that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. It's a lot for anybody to take. And like, Joe getting perpetually German suplexed. By Brock across the ring, like you done for.
Yeah. And Joe,
and then you get F5'd, and then it's like you're done for.
Yeah, Granted, like Joe ain't not a slouch, but he ain't what is it, Seth or even Cody? He ain't 220. That man's like 280. I'm pretty sure. At least I don't know. We're just eyeballing him. He's put on weight in his age, so. But it's like, man, that just goes to how strong Brock is. But but in the promo, Joe. Telling him basically he's a not a make-believe champion, but he's a not worthy. He's not worthy of the championship. And that basically he's gonna put him in his place, all that like threatening good stuff. And that you haven't proven anything to him. And he was like, oh, I'm a fake champion, even though this is my second time as the world champion. The guy that you beat, I put in the hospital. The guy that beat you, the guy that you lost the title to, I put in the hospital. And it's like, oh yeah, but you can see I like Joe, like, because there was a long, not long promo, but like he got to monologue for like that good 45 seconds a minute. Where it's like, oh yeah, Joe really in his bag, cutting deep. You know what I'm saying? But then it was dope to see like Hangman is just like, man, whatever, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm champion now. You can't bother me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had this at least, one more time than you. So
okay. I think I might have missed that segment. I think it's probably the opening segment.
Yeah, it was opening promo.
I tuned in late, a little later than that.
Yeah, it was a good promo. So that would be my primo, actually. I missed that on here, but there we go.
One that we did disagree on was I had Orange Cassidy over Pac as a mid, and mostly just like entertaining match, good match.
Yeah.
Like you had that as a shake. You said predictable ending, which I can understand with the Darby interference and whatnot. That was Darby that interfered at the end. Yeah.
Just my thought was these guys have a lot of history, like on AEW even, and like that's how the majority of their matches, even without Darby, I would have picked this to be like a roll up, exactly the way that this went. This would have gone with a roll up, like Pac struggling, and then like kicking out at the last second, too late. And it was just, even with Darby in here, I see what they tried to do. Like, I'm saying, the Death Riders of it all and everything, just try to interfere, fuck with them, all of them. But for both of them to be coming like very recently coming back, and the thought of like Pac even cut his hair, however much, and changed his like outfit. He's not in just like he's not in the Speedos no more.
Yeah.
Now he's in this standing, whole body wrestling thing. They're like, okay, maybe a bit of a character change, all this. Yeah, just typical stuff. Same thing. Yeah.
I can understand that.
Shake.
Yeah, I can understand
that's why, even though the match it's gonna be great every single time, because one of my favorite matches was when it was international, when they were initially starting their rivalry, and it was over the international title, and that was still around, and he beat Pac for that. Those were some phenomenal matches and stuff, because like the clash of like just styles, when he immediately challenges him, and like you see Pac gives in and he starts doing the soft kick back to him.
Like I said, it's TV, man. You can't.
It is.
You can't
like,
just
give
out your best
entertaining
matches on TV all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But it's like, when I know these guys are gonna tear their house down in the way that they do with each other, that's where I'm like, all right, at least make it like a clean somebody gets 1, 2, 3 or taps out or something.
I feel you. You got at least one more thing.
Oh yeah. Moxley. This was mid show. Moxley versus Tomohiro Ishii. Moxley getting the win with I don't know why you need interference still but Claudio, fuck it. But this was really about like the respect that the crowd gave him. They were giving a lot to Tomohiro Ishii, so that's why I put in here, man. We all love the murder grandpa, and it made me think. I'm like, I'm trying to think who would be the American equivalent of that, like murder grandpa, or like who would you not mind, like somebody who's old but you would feel comfortable like getting in the ring, like a hardcore match, even though like hardcore matches is because you can't wrestle anymore.
Like,
it's a cover
thing.
Like
Sabu was that guy before he passed away.
Yeah, before Sabu passed. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, you're right. That'd be the perfect pick, honestly. Put Sabu back in a match if we had somebody else. Yeah, who else? I'm sure Dreamer. Yeah, I was gonna say Dreamer could probably still do it right now. Yeah, I'd be down to see a Dreamer match. But yeah, just seeing him, I was like, okay. Tomohiro is like, and granted, I think I've seen like, I saw like, I'm not even gonna lie, maybe I think one of his New Japan matches, like when he was younger. Everything else, most of my knowledge is like him in this stage of his career. He's already, 50 plus. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna look up how old Tomohiro is.
I see Jericho.
Yeah. Tomohiro. We got anything else though?
That's it for me from the coffee shop. You can head over to Thursday. We got some, I guess, some kind of current event. It's still not like official, I guess, but as official as it could get. But Big E was on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, I believe.
Yeah.
And he said on the podcast, for all the people who are who have had it on me, I'm like, why me? My career is kind of behind me. I'm someone who is appreciative, and I think I've had a really good career. I'm proud of it. But you had John Cena, Livy Dunn, some of the biggest names. And so basically saying that he's retired, which I guess, like, I don't know. I guess that's the most official way that you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Outside of like, like an official statement saying like, I've officially retired. But,
I would say with it being on that specifically, I mean, that's a non-kayfabe show.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the most official thing we've heard so far.
Yeah.
That's definitely newsworthy. That sounds like Big E is like done. That's not like he's coming back for real. Like,
especially in ring, but again, you can still be like a manager.
Yeah, but the second you're on screen, people start thinking bumps. You know what I'm saying?
Paul Heyman don't take a bump.
Until he did.
Yeah, but when he takes a bump, it's like once every 2 years.
I mean, sure, but that's still taking one. I mean, and granted, and Paul Heyman was also never in ring. If
Yeah.
Lashley, or I mean, I said Lashley, excuse me, a Big E is out there, and then the second he takes a bump, we're all thinking that he's getting in the ring. So that's also the difference. Like Heyman is not an in-ring guy. So, but we can always hope, we can dream. I mean, but he said he's happy.
General manager. He could be general manager.
That'd be great. Hell yeah. That's
take over for Adam Pearce.
Yeah. That'd be dope, because then obviously that's just gonna like put all the more fire into him being a face, you know, GM, and that puts the fire back into the New Day as heels. Also, like where they're just gonna be in his face. You're just doing this because you hate us. Because you're worthless. You broke your neck and all this stuff. You know, just berate him at every chance they get. Put him in like the only ever like bring back the Armageddon 6-way like Hell in a Cell, but for the tag team titles. And it's like, what the hell? Like,
that'd be
dope.
Yeah. Let's get into the Book of Wrestling. Play the music. Book of Wrestling 2 on the docket.
Yep.
I'll go with the first one. Okay, that's a match. Are they both matches now? Okay, yeah.
That's 2000, not 25. Yeah.
Definitely not 25.
That's 2000.
Yeah, it's October 9th, 2000. Quote, I did it for The Rock. He did it for The Rock after a months-long investigation by Commissioner Foley to find out who ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin at Survivor Series the year before. It was revealed on Raw the culprit was Rikishi, who had claimed that he had done it for the benefit of his cousin, The Rock. Rock was, of course, appalled as Rikishi turned heel to feud with the man he tried to run over 11 months prior.
Yeah.
What a iconic, hilarious moment. I did it for The Rock. I did it for my family. I did it for The Rock. That was a funny moment. The pay, like, obviously Stone Cold got written off television to, you know, have neck surgery and heal up, you know, but the storyline is interesting, but the payoff, I guess, because I guess they didn't really plan on who was it that did it. And eventually was that he worked with Triple H in cahoots. But yeah, hilarious but iconic moment in wrestling history.
For sure. The other moment that was here was actually Mickie James' WWE debut. And that was October 11th, 2005. This comes post-match. This is Trish Stratus, WWE champion.
Just kind of runs in the ring and just kind of like bear hugs her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also presents her because she just finished retaining the title. And this is the crazed fan, you know, and gives her the championship back in the corner. And like Trish is just like, who the hell is this chick? Like, she does seem like a crazy fan, but obviously that wouldn't be the case. Like, you know, there's no way in once again 2020 vision or like in this era of WWE where I could even like be like, oh yeah, that's obviously a character. Like this woman holding the women's championship and like, you know, running down the ramp with it and giving it to Trish. Like, what in the world? But getting the start of one of our legendary women's champions across like not just WWE but North America. She's also in the TNA Hall of Fame.
Yep.
She's the first woman to bring over, like, to show us the TNA Knockouts Championship, you know, at the Royal Rumble. And also one of our Virginia sisters from Richmond,
Virginia.
So, wife of Nick Aldis.
Yeah. GM, the best GM so far.
Yeah. And you see why she fell for him. It's like, oh yeah, look how proper and British he is.
Let's get into the boutique. SmackDown, the last show, the go home show. This was an 8 o'clock show. Again, they are in Perth.
I covered it this time. Or I mean, we both watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, but this was basically everything that was in the show. I actually did put on here. The best thing I had was the Alistair and Damien and the Last Man Standing, which once again, you on the weekly for whatever reason are just able to predict the either main events or mid-hour interference spots.
Yeah,
and,
I was like,
because you said like we saw like the vignettes of them, the build up before the match earlier on in the night, and you had said that Zelina's gonna help him or help her husband.
Yeah,
and it's funny because we haven't even acknowledged them. I think we might have acknowledged them as married, maybe, but their characters have not.
Yeah, they don't really interact.
They have not interacted at all since Alistair's been
So
back.
she came out of nowhere through the crowd, and then ended up kind of sleight of hand, gave Alistair something to cause Damien to get his face burned off.
Yeah, she gave him like a 14-year-old's, trying to learn entry magic to like meet women, like as a pickup tactic, like close up magic.
It got him good in the face.
Fireball to the face while they're inside the on top of the equipment, the equipment area.
Yeah,
the recording equipment, on top of her, the cases, you know what I'm saying, the shipping stuff that they keep all the stuff in, and Zelina comes out looking like the biggest distraction that you can imagine, and like you said, assists to the fireball black mass, and he falls through a table face first. Like, great sell from Damien.
Yeah, but I'm happy for the connection for Zelina and Alistair on screen. Yeah, it seemed like obviously they had that with Karrion Kross and Scarlett, but I guess you could trust Zelina a little bit more, being a bit of a better in-ring worker than Scarlett.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, the fact that they're together and like that's gonna be a feud, or like some type of heel faction, if you want to say. Yeah. Interesting, dope. Yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah, especially considering, it looks like
a character twist to Zelina.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is that like you get the change because the last thing that we saw her doing was U.S. champion, and since she's lost the belt, this is like the last thing I remember her doing. How long ago was that?
A few months ago.
Yeah, so because Julia's been champ for at least, it's been a while.
Yeah, a couple months.
Yeah. So either way, Zelina turning heel, helping her husband. We're acknowledging it. So that's dope because we haven't done that before. So it gives me hope. Once again, they're
gonna go to Mexico and win the international.
Oh yeah.
the mixed tag team champion.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, that'll be a heel.
Especially Zelina being like Spanish. Like she'll be like the fucking promo there.
Yeah, her being Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So
and it'll be Mr. Iguana and La Hydra. So and they're super faces down there. So
Damian Priest and Zelina, that'd be dope.
Or Alistair and Zelina.
Yeah. That's Damian Priest. Yeah, Alistair and
you're trying to make this a real rivalry. That's a Lita and Matt Hardy rivalry you're talking
about. You also had in the mids, the Wide Six retaining over the Street Profits. The MSTs want the Wide Six.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the return of even Tongaloa.
Tama.
Yeah, that one. Tama.
And I pointed out that they also had their
face paint.
Yeah, their face paint from New Japan. They're kind of like, I forget, because I can only think of Gates of Agony now because they were kind of like literally the exact same mold as them. Yeah. Like, because they kind of filled in that gap after they left New Japan, and with the face paint. So I can't really remember what their faction was called back then. But this is the Street Profits, their second attempt at like trying to get it back.
And they lost again,
Yeah. So this wasn't going to go any other way.
Gonna have a storyline of them breaking up.
Exactly. That's where I'm thinking. And I was going to say, last bit, it gives me hope for Bianca. Maybe she puts the battery in her man's back. Same thing that like Roman's doing to Jay. Give Bianca a character twist. Let's start this Black Panther couple like I've been talking about. Hey. But yeah, that gives me some bit of hope. I mean, the MFTs also came down here and because they showed up after the retention. But, Wyatt Six were actually able to squad up, and not because there wasn't an attack there, but there was just a face off and like Solo Sikoa walking through the middle of them, which I was like, why wasn't Bo Dallas there? Or Uncle Howie, was he sitting on the ramp?
I might have missed that. Yeah.
I don't know where he was. I missed that too. So it's like that's where I would have liked to. I feel obviously Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy should be standing directly in front of Solo at that point in time. But it made it look like, granted, Solo is like not a mob boss, but like low key, like his own tribal chief, his own tribal chief in a way. Yeah. So, because he's saying it's his family tree, and they all Polynesians, so it's like an offshoot. But
that should be a good rivalry.
Yeah,
there's enough,
and they both got
they got enough to cancel out each other.
They're gonna need like Redwood to come in again for Talatonga, because Talatonga's 6'10" too.
Yeah,
like, they both like the big guys. So, and then you got Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy, Solo Sikoa, the Tongans. And the tag
don't have
champs.
anybody for Jeff Cobb though. JC Mateo.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Because there's only 5 of them. So.
Yeah, unless you got Nikki. Going against JC Mateo.
They're missing a girl, because the MFTs are missing a girl. So.
We also had the return of Shinsuke.
Yeah.
In a Sami Zayn US Open
challenge. Yeah. Which this was great. Going forward, but then this would have been a primo had this not been interruption. But MFT just wanted
the first introduction.
Yeah, this is the first interruption of the night. So
first introduction of them because
of the night.
The Wide Six was the second time they came out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why this got knocked out.
Yeah,
to a mid.
But I had to ask afterwards. I'm like, did that match end with a decision? It was like, no, they got interrupted. So I was like, that's disappointing.
It was just a no.
No, again, I guess it spares Shinsuke from getting a first time comeback loss. You know what I'm saying? So
that's exactly what that is, because it's like, you just beat down both of them, so neither one. It's a no contest instead of like Sammy winning, by DQ.
Shake.
Yeah, the shakes that I had. We had the Steph and Tiffany. Can they coexist?
Yeah.
Match right before Crown Jewel against
Which doesn't work when you really got 2 faces.
Yeah, exactly. Up to this point, because once again, what are you trying to tell me, like, with the storyline of them going forward? And like I said, when this happened on Raw or SmackDown last week, and I was like, okay, what are we doing with this contract signing?
Yeah,
are we gonna get a little bit more heel from Tiffany or something? And it was like, oh no, okay, yeah.
And it just led into the tag team match.
Exactly, that's all it is. So it's like, okay, great. Like, this was all nothing, and obviously they were gonna win.
Put up a high profile match.
Yeah,
of like
both your champions. Yeah,
before the night before the show.
I mean, we do want to see them, so that is not for nothing. I mean, they did the crowd a good service. That's what this is, even though it's like, this ain't what we here for storyline.
Yeah.
And the last thing I had up here was I did like the Zaruka segment backstage, tag team running into tag champs.
Yeah.
We get Brittany and I said Brittany. What in the world? I was thinking Charlotte too when I said Brittany. Alexa and Charlotte running into Zaruka, and they're still faces, but saying, just being like, hey, we're the best,
They do need a Brittany just so it could be ABC.
Yeah, on that. Yeah, for sure. Do we have a Brittany on the roster?
No,
there's no Brittany in NXT either.
Yeah, we'll find no.
Unless we got to go through all the women's rosters, real names. There will be a Brittany.
There's probably a Brittany.
There's definitely a Brittany. Yeah. Like, watch it be like, it'll be like a, what's her name from Raw, from Alpha Academy, or not Alpha Academy, from American Alpha.
Oh, you talking about
her name will be Brittany. Yeah. Watch. I can believe she looks like a Brittany to me.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I figured they would, because they did beat the Secret Harvest last week, and I felt like that was I thought that was not a tag tournament, but a number one contender. That was SmackDown. Anything else?
No, just like I said, the segment was cute. I mean, Charlotte making fun of how they don't have any chemistry and how they're not on the same page, and then as they leave the segment, they walk in different directions. But and actually getting a straight up face to face between I can't think of another time we've had a face to face with Sol, Ruka, and Charlotte.
They had a moment in the ring, when they were in whatever match they were a couple weeks ago.
Okay. But yeah, just I guess having it slowed down and then literally shoulder to shoulder I thought that was something special. So I guess that's also why I felt the need to bring it up here. So I actually did turn it up during that segment.
Let's get into this pop-up show. recap for the first time. We're not early enough to give our predictions.
Too early.
We can go through the recap. We'll talk about our predictions. We agreed on everything as far as how we predicted this tournament, this show. So we were going to end up in a tie, but we were both wrong on the fact that Roman Reigns was going to beat Bronson Reed in this Australian street fight. I figured that Roman is in these type of situations. Like I feel like you always kind of have to give him the advantage, but I did kind of forget about this being like a no DQ, and that just means Braun Breaker would be a factor, which he was. But I still would have thought that Roman Reigns would have been able to withhold that, but he wasn't, and Bronson Reed got a victory over Roman Reigns
for the second time
in his hometown.
Yeah, for the second time. So yeah, he also lost last year in his hometown, so they were able to give it to him this year.
I don't think he was there because I think it was.
Oh, is that when he broke his foot last year? Maybe that's why he wasn't there.
I remember there was one year where he couldn't be there because he was having like the birth of his child.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
But he did break his foot in November, which I'm like.
Yeah, that was War Games because that's when he teamed up with Bloodline.
Yeah, but they didn't go to Australia at that point. So yeah, I guess that was last year.
Oh, okay.
So no, I guess. Yeah, I think the first time it was like he was having his first child being born, and that's why he couldn't be at Perth.
Yeah,
because that was the Nia Jax, right? And Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been the same pay-per-view. Yeah, you actually put your predictions in before I did, which is why I put a little bit more detail in here because I was like, obviously, there's going to be interference in this. I wasn't thinking as much. Jimmy, like I don't want to think of like the Usos, the twins as attached at the hip, like if one the other one has it.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking was definitely Jay and Braun. I was like, because obviously Roman has been in Jay's ear, so I thought for sure like, oh, he's gonna show up to like help his cousin out, and like I thought like because we don't get like vignettes like that like during the pay-per-views. But it's nothing to be like, hey, or Jimmy and Jay backstage and be like, hey, that's not your problem, bro. Like, what are you doing? And then that's what I was kind of thinking was going to happen. But Jimmy came out too to help out, but it didn't matter. And as I was saying yesterday, I was like, yo, they really put over how fucking destructive Braun, specifically Breaker, is. Being able to spin the trinity of the OG bloodline in this segment, even though he ended the match coming out the crowd, spearing Roman, spearing both of the Usos again, like, and finishing it with a tsunami on Roman is like, dang. Yeah. And we get the miscommunication of Jay spearing. Or am I Jay spearing or super kicking Roman? That happened, and that's what threw everything off.
I forget.
Yeah, I think it might have been a spear. He was aiming for Braun, and Braun moved out the way, spearing Roman through the table in the corner. But yeah. Surprisingly, he has given up 2. Maybe it's just the fact because we did get it like a month ago. Like he's like, "Oh, you're Samoan. Your ass belongs to me." Maybe it's just because he's like, "All right, you cousin, I'll give these pins up to you." Because it's like, yeah, they really put it over. The only guy.
Bronson Reed is a tough man.
He's a monster, dog. Yeah. Like, yeah, he's a monster for sure. I'm more than believing of
all
that.
It takes is one tsunami, and then you're done.
Yeah. And then you better pray to God that he don't feel like keep getting up there.
Yeah,
but that's really what it is.
I'm saying you just hit one on you, then you have the ability to regather yourself before he goes back up there and hits another one.
Yeah,
and then that just fucking exponentially gets worse every time he hits that on you. That it's just like, that's all a tough man to beat.
Yeah, facts.
Steph, as we predicted long ago, would get the win over Tiffany to become the women's Crown Jewel champion.
And I felt like that was pretty easy to make just because it's like, yo, look at Tiffany. Like, she's a fucking superstar. Like, she's already made. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
Steph is having the greatest first year.
Yeah, exactly. However much the Crown Jewel championship is worth, she got that too. Yeah. So it's pretty insane. But this is like a good question because this also ties me to like, I don't want to harp on Roman too much, but how indestructible do you feel like, Roman is? at this point, especially post. This is the second loss to um, Bronson Reed.
I mean, I think he has protection with the interference, not the interference, but like the miscommunication, I guess, and the unfortunate events. Roman's still unbreakable.
Yeah, like
I think there's some chinks in it because kinks in his armor, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when he was on top, he always had to win it with some type of interference, and so it's like kind of that question. It's like I know you're great, but like I need to see that diamond resiliency kind of shine on a consistent basis as a face.
Yeah,
that like you don't need outside interference to win. Like you could just do it just by like 15 fucking Superman punches and
five spears.
Yeah. So
my thought was like, because obviously he's, when they were talking about being top of the card or being QB1, it went from Roman to Cody, and that's what the whole Cody and Seth rivalry is about, is being QB1 or whatever. Yeah. So it's like when I think about Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson at the end of like AEW reign or his just run, is like he was taking so many L's, but he's fucking, one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
And you're just like, every single time he's in the ring, he's just like, that is such a big moment for that person, but it does no damage to him. I don't think about, Bryan Danielson any differently, even though he's losing. And it's like, that's where I'm thinking about, like, even though it's Bronson Reed and it's been twice in a row, it's like, yo, we're really making this superstar, this monster, Bronson Reed. That's more so how I think about it than like Roman losing his shine.
Legitimacy, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I kind of think of it more so like that.
Same thing with like Maxine beating Becky. That doesn't take down who Becky is and make her like a beatable champion, or like she's losing skill if you're like still keeping kayfabe. That just means Maxine fucking stepped up and got her on her day. You know what I'm saying?
And
like
Becky got distracted by the crowd with talks and shit.
I'm talking about in a chance that she like
for sure.
The Intercontinental title. It's like at that point, it's like, nah, Maxine just got her. You know what I'm saying? Like she got.
But yeah, Steph. Sorry, I interrupted. That was the Stephanie and Tiffany segment. But
that was clean though.
Yeah, we really did. Where they're putting over the Spinal Tap. The Spinal Tap is one of her other finishers now, for sure, because that's how she won the title, and that's how she won the Crown Jewel championship. So, Spinal Tap official top rope finishers. Holy shit! Stephanie Vaquer. Holy crap!
John Cena defeated AJ for his 100th PLE pop-up show win in his career.
Yep.
We went through on the Bleacher Report recap of it, and they listed all of the finishers that each man used.
All the retro signature moves,
Frankie Kazarian, Undertaker,
Christopher Daniels.
There's some other ones that I can't mention off the top of the head. Bray Wyatt. Walls of Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho's in there.
So
that's cool. How you
for both of them. AJ was in his old TNA gear, like the boxer.
Yeah, the split trunk. Yeah, just silver and blue. Yeah, that's young. That's baby boy AJ right there. That's Mr. TNA AJ. But yeah, that was great. They were still arguably their best match. I mean, we could still definitely go back to that Mania one AJ won, or was that Rumble? I think that was Rumble. Yeah, that was Rumble when he won because Shinsuke challenged. But yeah, great match. Another pretty obvious one, I would think so. Yeah, don't overthink it, people. I'm learning not to overthink it. But Rhea and Io getting the win over Kabuki Warriors. Myself adding Asuka's going to be starting her turn on Kairi after this. That's exactly where I think it's going. Where it's like, yeah, they're going to lose, and like Asuka's going to just berate the shit out of like Kairi Sane until like, I mean, she's already sympathetic. She's already been bullying her like until like, she likes Io too. She don't want to beat up Io, but we get like the eternal rivals, rivals turn your allies situation where, I mean, those are the two most over, well, except with holding Steph up, those are the two most over women on the Raw women's roster. Get both of them on the team together. They're not losing
Do you
for
think
sure.
this storyline could lead to Kyrie being propped up by Asuka and Io, and like being taken as a legitimate like world champion threat?
I would hope so, because I know we did somewhat talk about this, but it's like right now the obvious thing is like Kyrie's got to beat Asuka, but if we could, I think this is like kind of like the custody of Kyrie, like low key, like she's gonna break off from Asuka, but as Io maybe is like, hey, I know it's not your fault, but she's like, I just need to like figure my shit out or whatever it is, and I just don't think, first of all, Io and Asuka, anytime they're in a championship match, you're going to take them seriously.
Yeah.
Io's in her prime right now. Asuka's like the vet of all vets, technically speaking. So really, we just need to build up Kyrie into that. Like, maybe it's not for the title because it'll be on Stephanie or whoever. Stephanie will have it. But whatever that pay-per-view is, I could see that pay-per-view for it is like the number one contendership. And that would be, I would say them propping her up because I would have Kyrie winning.
And a triple threat?
Yeah. As long as like this story is going the way I think it's gonna go, that would be really cool. And that would be the biggest win of her career too. Whenever you're beating either one of those two, that's a big fucking deal for anybody on the roster.
Finally, when I was kind of pivoting on a little bit, and I was like, no, I'm not going against my guy, but I thought about it just for like just thinking about like if I'm trying to win points. And if I had to like put on my WWE hat, I could see them keeping the storyline, kind of what they doing with Rhea and Io. I was like, maybe Cody might win this, but I was like, nah, I can't pick against my guy, Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins finally pulls it out and gets his first win against Cody and wins the Crown Jewel Men's Championship.
Yep, clean enough
match that we did see in person live when it was happening.
Clean enough.
We were awake by then.
Yeah. I wrote down the specificity of clean as a heel just because I was like, well, if I got Braun coming down, I got the Vision basically at the beginning of the show. So I'm not going to have them again interfere with Cody. And plus, who would be Cody's backup? Because Randy's not here. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Owens is gone.
Sammy, maybe.
Sammy's not on the show. Maybe he's backstage.
I mean, they were there in Australia.
Sure, but we got to see them. We got to see them
and
to know that, or we got to, I don't know. But either way, I couldn't think of an immediate ally. So I was like, there's no way the Vision is interfering. The most I was thinking was Paul Heyman interference, but even that didn't happen. So I put down clean as a heel.
He did use he did use the, what you call it,
clean as a heel entails, just putting this on camera, like a heel winning by any means that doesn't include outside interference. If it's like legs on the ropes for leverage, if it's pulling your trunks for leverage, if it's a ref bump into weapon usage, which that's what this one was, that's still a clean heel win because your shoulders is on the mat by any means necessary. That counts, and there was no other help from anybody else, so you did it yourself, even though it was underhanded. But like ref bump, relatively well acted, not intentional headbutt to the ref from Seth, and then we saw him take Cody's watch, like from like the ring keeper or timekeeper area earlier in the match, and like punching him in the face.
Why is that there? Who knows?
Exactly.
Why is that not in your locker?
It's so valuable to him that he wanted to put it there.
It gives you inspiration every time. Like, get the fuck out of here! Leave that in your goddamn locker.
That should be in your safe, like a safety, or what is it called? A security deposit.
Safety deposit.
Safety deposit box. There we go. Yeah, they're your most cherished items. But he puts on that big gaudy belt, and Seth is the Crown Jewel champion. However much you care about that.
Yeah.
But
we are tied on this episode, and on season I am 4, 5, and 6, which makes you 5, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
Overall, 9, 17, and 11. So keeping it pretty even on the season.
Yeah.
Got to figure out ways to cut into the lead. We'll eventually get there.
It'll be like those bigger shows. They gotta give us those moments.
Especially with these
and not for nothing.
Ties, it's
the AEW shows too, though.
Yeah.
The AEW shows, like when you got 10 and 11 matches, you're like, dog, all right, well, we ain't gonna get all these right.
You know where there's a point. I guarantee there's more draws on WWE.
Oh, for sure.
Than there are with AEW.
Yeah, absolutely. Because so much of AEW relies on work rate.
Yeah.
To be like the kayfabe also, but man, but then there's times like those NXTs, like no hate on NXT, but you know, some of those pop-ups for NXT be real
they're 10 matches usually.
They be real background noise-ish. You know what I'm saying for me. So because I remember there was one that we did recently where I was like, nigga, I was wrong as a bitch. I got like one right, or you had like you went like 2 and 3 and I went 1 and 4 or something. And I was like, well, yeah. Nigga, like couldn't predict it. Like, sorry. But
into these champions.
Yeah, you're right about that. Who you got?
I got 2. One I didn't write down. But okay. First one is the Harry Doyle and new Harry Doyle, just a bit outside champion to Mara Sade for. Did you see this moment during the NXT Women's Survivor Series match? Yeah. She sets up to do a moonsault off the top rope.
Yeah, okay. Just saw it now.
And she completely overshot it.
Yeah, overshot that.
And I as when you're watching that live, I was just like let out a chuckle.
That's what you had to go. That's when you gotta be kayfabe. When you're a fan, you have to lean into kayfabe. Yeah. That's the funny shit.
I was like that. I've never seen that actually happen like that. That was kind of funny. I don't fall like again. That's why I was kind of also in shake. It was a little bit of a sloppy match, but that one was just like that's funny.
She plays 2-hand touch tag football with her. Yeah. Like that's what that spot was.
People are trying to blame. I don't know who's to blame on that. I think because they were saying like Jada Parker wasn't in the best position, but it was like she put her in position.
Yeah, you just lay there. You should hit it on the spot. Yeah.
You just undershot her.
Yeah,
overshot her. Yeah, but you missed.
She went too much arc on that. Yeah, like if she would have hit her with like, you know, who's perfect moonsault is for that? Io does that quick, like I said, that quick whip moonsault, which is why it's so devastating. It's more force.
Yeah,
kayfabe.
But all right. No shade to Mara. I love her. I'm a fan, but that one is just hilarious to see. Especially when you're watching it in live and that happens, you're just like, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, those moments that you gotta lean in kayfabe are like, they're always funny like that. But
I don't even think that's kayfabe. I think that was an accident.
Oh yeah, no. I'm saying, but us as fans, we know that moonsault hit though.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They'll say that she didn't get all of it. That's what they say. She didn't get all of it because she made contact. As long as contact is made, you know what I'm saying. But what was your other one? You said you didn't write it?
I didn't write it, but you can go with yours.
Oh, okay. Mine, and new. This is also screaming, I am the table. The title is going to Ricochet shooting star to Lashley in the hardcore match. Which is that's the funniest spot in all of wrestling when somebody hits like an impactful move
and the table doesn't break.
That shit ain't impactful enough. And most of the time it happens with the girls, with the women. Obviously they're lighter weight. It's like, Lashley is 260 pounds, and you get just those aren't
those WWE tables meant to break. You know I mean? Those look like they're a little bit more sturdy.
Those are like the picnic tables that you would have at like a cookout in church, stuff like that. So a little bit more sturdy. But that shit cracked ever so little bit, but like whenever
laid on top of them until I forgot whoever jumped on top of them.
Bishop Khan. Yeah, Bishop Khan jumped on top of him. But that's where I was just like, oh man. Every time I just can't get that gif out of my head. Every time I am the table. It's like the table. This is part of the. Like it makes me think of like Beauty and the Beast, all the inanimate objects. Like imagine if all of the like weapons could talk. Like a WWE match. That's what the table is saying. Like whenever it doesn't break, I'm more important than you. I'm the main character here.
He's literally just talking shit to the other tools, but I was like, "Boss, man, I bet you if they take me out right now, bet you I won't break.
They're chanting my name. You hear that?
I won't break. Oh, see, it's like, oh, you think he's gonna? Then you see the curtain open up, and then he gets pulled out. He's like, oh, let's see if he's gonna live up to his word.
Right.
I guess he didn't break.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one I didn't put down, but because I had to look it up on the history books to see if we have. I'm pretty sure because you gave this to Darby a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But in my best Paul Heyman voice, or lack of their best Paul Heyman voice, and the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of don't do that, nigga. That's 5 to 10.
Oh yeah, that's a new one. Yeah. That's a new title for sure. I mean, he's like 4 times.
Still, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, like, still, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he held it last time because you gave it to him.
I was like, it's been like 4 times.
You gave it to him like a couple weeks ago, but when he had the cocktail Molotov and was about to light it, it's just like, bro, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly. That was funny as
what
hell.
are we doing here?
That's exactly. Hey, that's his character, bro. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, just watching that, where it's like, you know, your move set, the names of your moves like match your character, and it's like. He's the one guy where I would believe like suicide dive is his finisher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As much as he's, you know, we just say he's a human crash test dummy. That's his offense.
The cocktail Molotov.
Yeah, he don't care about that shit.
He was about to light it.
Like, yeah, let's go. Like at the top of the ramp, like, you're going to blow up this arena, dog? That's what you're going to do? You're going to light somebody on fire?
Off-guard duty security guard tackle those dudes.
Man, granted, he did light Moxley on fire during their match, like in the body bag.
That's what I'm saying. He's the... And reigning,
defending, you're right.
Undisputed, champion, whatever. Just that was like that's
5 to 10.
Don't do that. That's 5 to 10.
Or
that's that Tyrone Biggums, or is that just?
That's just an old black man. He was saying, that was part of his stand-up. He was like, an old black man just gonna pop out.
Yeah. That wasn't Killing Me Softly. That's what it was. Yeah. But that is it for episode 66 of the Wrestling Rehab Podcast. Anything else, Moody?
I'm going to tell them the same reminder that we give you at the top. Like, comment, subscribe here on this channel. Give us, I guess like, comment, subscribe would be over here, right? That's where we at in the
somewhere, yeah.
Over there,
like
yeah.
Right over,
so like your hands ain't even up there.
Yeah.
See,
like I don't.
We're gonna start putting icons in the middle and stuff in the corners. We're
gonna do that. Definitely should do that.
Yeah, make us clickable. But give us all the social media engagement, and like you said, follow us, and come back next week for episode 67.
Wrestling Rehab Podcast. Y'all, peace.